Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program, the episode where we rescued JEBEDIAH. Hey. Well, the episode after the one where we rescued JEBEDIAH. Well, the rescue's not over yet. We still have to dock with the space station here. Now, if we take a look, we've gone ahead and we've advanced to a relatively close approach. We can see our close approach is going to be right around here. So what I want to do is I want to bring our orbits closer together here. And I think the best way to do that right now would be to burn radial, which should shift our orbit to the right and bring our connection point a little closer together. So let's try that. We're going to go radial plus, which just means the blue circle with the lines going out of it. And we're going to give it just a bit of juice. Am I wrong? No, I'm in the right direction. Whoop. Separation 11. 11.3. We're actually going further apart. Why is that? Our orbit should be, in fact, quite a bit closer. Maybe I should be doing a, maybe I should have been doing a prograde burn. I mean, we've got a crossover point there. Where are we? Are we going to be ahead or behind? Oh, part of it is we're not on the right plane. Ooh, I don't know if we're doing this at the right place, but let's do an anti-normal burn. Try to bring our plane down as much as possible. Ack. Okay. Now we're crossing there, 10 kilometers away. With us being ahead. So again, I think we can do a radial plus burn. Apparently I'm wrong. Well, it's bringing our orbits closer together over here, but affecting the rendezvous time. Now, over here, the space base will be going faster than we are. Right? Because it's taking it longer to orbit around. But at this match point here, it's obviously got more speed because it's then going to a higher orbit. So with that in mind, if I prograde a bit here, we'll be going a little bit faster than we are currently. And it'll also bring this forward a bit. It'll shorten our encounter time. Or I'm completely wrong. That's possible too. Yeah, it's bringing it... Everything I'm doing is backwards from how I expected. I mean, obviously that will make us a little bit lower. But then we won't be matched. You know what? I might just stop messing around with this. Wait till we get to our closest point and then do a... try to match the velocity, which will match our orbits at that point. And then, I don't know, we'll try to fix things from the space station. I know there's a way for me to do this more efficiently. Okay. Bring it down all the way. Target mode, yes, retrograde to the target, which is going to help us match our orbits, and go. Whoa! Wait, I didn't realize our speed difference was so minimal. I didn't even look at the number. I just like, clearly it must be a pretty big speed difference, except it's not. It's actually taking very little delta V for us to match, which is good. Then we will slowly close in. Why are orbits still completely messed up? Oh, because I'm not actually that close. I mean, I'm matching the current speed and everything, but I'm not currently close enough. And because of our difference in height of our orbit... There we go. Burn directly towards it. Because of our difference in height of our orbit, we're ending up with slightly divergent paths, which is fair enough. Okay, now it is definitely time for me to derate this engine. Bring it way down. And what I want to do is just be in kill rotation mode. So I don't want to burn, like... I want to get my prograde directly on the direction to the target. I could burn here and it'll keep bringing it closer. But if I go over here, because that will just add a lot of like relative delta V I'll have to kill later. And I do want to close this in, because the faster I close it, the better. But if I do this, and maybe a little more, will help to bring it in line without adding that much relative speed. Although again, some relative speed will not be bad, because the sooner we close our orbits, the better. So now we're looking to meet up over here, have a separation still of 2.7 kilometers. but that's not so bad. So let's go ahead and let this go for a while. Our relative speed is increasing, and then should come back down as we near this. And then we'll be 2.7 kilometers apart. Still not super close, but it ain't bad. I could, if I knew what I was doing a lot more, get this closer out here, which would use a lot less delta V. But I don't know what I'm doing, so that's the way it is. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and start this retro burn. It is pushing this away. Not really changing our separation. And we'll try to mostly kill it, but then we're going to go back to find me the direction towards my target. Okay, that's towards my target. So now if I go over this way, say directly in this direction. Oh, that was my retrograde marker. So yeah, actually I want to burn this way, push the retrograde away. And bring the prograde over. It's right there. There we go. Like that. So we're now heading back towards the target, because we're actually going away from it for a little while. Do this. Okay, well, at this point I'd be quite happy to move over here. So we are definitely moving towards the target, not particularly quickly. We can definitely burn a little bit more. In fact, I'll go to full, because, I mean, think about it. We can eliminate 90 delta V, which is we can eliminate 90 meters per second. Right now we're going 12 meters per second, so we can obviously eliminate that. So let's bring it up to about 20 meters per second, heading directly towards our target, and then go ahead and do a little time warp. We're closing in, we're closing in, we're closing in. Everything is good. We're closing in. The prograde is still basically on our direction to our target, which is fantastic. Let's go and get ready to burn retro relative to our target over here as we get a little bit closer. And in fact, right now, what are we looking at? 100 meters apart right now. Good. Very good. And we'll have fuel left in our main engine. Okay. Let's bring down our relative speed. And a bit more, and actually if I do this, because you push your retrograde, you pull your pro, we push your retrograde. If I push the retrograde to the direction opposite my target, it actually means I'm going towards my target. You dig? At 0.6 meters per second. We are slowly approaching. Now we want to dock over there. That's where our adapter port is. I wonder if we're close enough. No, I can't. Oh, yes I can. Set as target. Excellent. And just to make sure, we are controlling from here. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to want to steer so we end up more over there, because right now we are heading basically towards the center of mass. So what I'm going to do is sort of manually just eyeball. Whoops, no, go to kill rot. Kill rot, kill rot. Stop, stop, stop. So I say manually eyeball a sort of lateral motion over here. There we go. And then get ready to bring it down. Okay. Still drifting a bit, and that's fine. Okay, and kill rot. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Okay, and then I'm going to, again, sort of... Alright. Under control. Sort of aim relative downish. I'm doing this visually here. There we go. Get us in the right neighborhood. And then what we'll do is we'll switch to RCS for the final approach, and then use the nav ball markers to really fine-tune things. And again, that is good. Set as my target. Excellent. Okay, it looks pretty good. Let's go and slowly bring that down to 0. Excellent. Stay on kill rotation mode, please and thank you. And now just finding... There it is. Okay, so pink marker is the direction to my target. The red marker is the alignment. So if we go into RCS mode and you use IJK, I can give us... That's not the right way to go. do that, and if I give this a little forward motion, I should start to see, there we go, my prograde marker. So what I want to do is have my prograde marker on the other side of the pink. So between the red side, the red is the direction, which I'm not quite facing properly, but if I do this, then technically I'm facing the direction of the port. But by having that prograde just past the pink from where I am, we are moving in that direction, so we'll be more lined up. I could do another one as diagonal approaches, but that's fine. Okay, I'm going to overshoot it a wee bit. The most important thing now is to make sure that my prograde marker is lined up with the pink indicator, so that we're going directly towards the docking port, and that my own attitude, the orangey doodad, is lined up with the red indicator, which means I'm facing the right way. So I'm both moving the right way and facing the right way. We're going to bring it down to 0.1 meters per second, and then we can do another adjustment over here. So I'm not doing rotations. I'm using IJKL to do a lateral motion to affect my, my direction of travel, my prograde. And it is roughly aligned with the pink. Again, there is a mod that brings that makes the nav ball a lot bigger, and honestly, I think I need it because my eyes and these colors, they don't really distinguish from each other too much. I think we're mostly pretty accurate here. We got lots of monopropellant left. Here we go, a little bit more that way. We're mostly lined up, and of course there is a magnetic adjustment or catch here. So as long as we're pretty close, it will latch on, and bam. JEBEDIAH has been raised from the surface of Duna. Oh, let's do a quick fast forward and then stop, just to stop all that shaky. Raised up from the surface of Duna and brought back to our little spaceship. Turn off the SAS, smart SAS completely. Time warp, stop. There we go. Okay, looks good now. Excellent. Okay, so first things first, we are going to pop out a scientist. Where's Bob? We're going to EVA with Bob. Root detach, grab his RCS. Up. And we're going to go and recover all the science. Because we're going to see if anything needs to be added, if anything's a duplicate, etc., etc. Now, I think there's still a lot of science data stored in our processing lab. Take data. Okay. So really, I don't think we actually need to add much more to the processing lab. It's basically going to be working on that for another year or two, as is. So we'll take a look. We'll make sure it's completely maxed out, but mostly we're doing this. There it is. Oops. Mostly we're doing this to get everything in one place so we know what we're doing, and then we're going to be taking this back to Kerbal. Remove the goo. Restore the goo. Nothing else should have anything. Oh, we did get some data on the way up. That's right, we did. Oh, you know what I kept forgetting to do? The atmospheric one. Oh my god. Well, I mean, yeah, no, there probably would have been more data. No, that's not the, that's the chute. Wait, I can't repack a chute. I was going to say, I'm not an engineer. We do have to remember to do that before we leave for Kerbal, though. Do we not have an atmospheric module on this? It looks like we don't. Okay, so technically we've left some science behind. I think we're going to send a rover here at some point. Now we'll have to decide if it's going to be manned or unmanned, if we're going to be bringing it back. If we don't bring it back, well, there's still some things like the atmospheric data and the seismic data that, yeah, we can transmit, but we don't get 100% of it back with the rover, but it might still be good enough. Okay, I guess that's that. Let's go and store this in the science bay, which I suppose I can do by just boarding it. We're on the dark side. Not a ton of power here, but that's okay. Starting to get really comfortable with the RCS in space here. I remember how stressy it was the first few times. Okay, all the science is there. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to review everything that's in here. So we have 466 of 500 data. So yeah, we'll just try to cap it off. There we go, with the atmospheric data. That will cap off. You know what? We're not going to quite have the power to do this. I mean, which is fine. It's going to be a little annoying because there we go. We're officially out of power. So just going to loop around. There it is. To the sunny side. Yay! Alright, looks like we did store it. Okay, we're going to keep... Well, at this point, we're going to just keep everything. If there's anything we can transmit... See, there's all this material study that we could put in there, but, like... Oh, did we actually not... I don't think we actually got it. Hold on. There's another one in here, I'm sure. Ooh, another material study. I guess I could have just thrown one of those in. Okay, plus 50. Not enough. Oh, not enough data storage to research. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's that. We're just gonna leave it be, unless there's one of these that just has like 34 or 33 point something science, but there won't be. Oh, there was a 31 in there. Son of a bitch. Oh, I gotta go through this all again. That's really annoying. Review data. Where's the one with the 31? It was near the end, and I hate that the buttons move like it's a trick. Oh, I can cycle through here. That'll be a little safer. One of these was 31, which would be perfect for topping things off. What was it? Right here. Crew report while flying over Duna's Highlands. I think you see a face. Maybe it was a trick of the light. No, that's a face. I bet you there actually is a face here. Okay, so now we keep everything. We'll actually get a keep pop up as soon as the science is done going through there too. Form. And there we go. Okay. Capped off on that. We just transmitted the science the last time we got here. So now what I'm going to do is, I guess Bob's going to EVA again. Bob's going to grab all the science. 33 experiments. We're going to release RCS. I'm like, why can't I move? Oh, right, I actually have to turn on the jetpack. And we're just going to store it in the capsule, which is going to return home. And hopefully all these things have enough fuel to load this up. And whoa, and up a little. And there we go. Grab on. Store 33 experiments. Can you only fit 24 experiments in there? What? Okay, take 24 experiments home then. With a ship that's going to come and eventually pick everyone up out of the science lab. You know, in about a year or two when it's done this. Oh man, that means we could have kept... There's no way for me to decide what I store and what I grab, which is kind of annoying. Because I was going to say, it would be very nice if I could keep experiments that still had valid data here and just send the others home. But I can't decide. I grab everything and I store everything. I don't do individuals. I mean, I can keep and recycle, but that's different. Well, that's very annoying. Okay, let's see here. We need fuel in our ship. First of all, and I think I've done it, is I want to make sure that there's no fuel transfer here yet. Disable the cross feeds. That does not stop you from transferring fuel. It just stops any automatic stuff from doing it. So now if I start... Oh, that's a ladder. If I start all clicking on a few of these... So we'll just do those, and then grab this tank, and then just say out, out. And transfer fuel from that into that. We still have to do, we've got one little tank in the middle, and then the tanks on the other side. And we are starting to run low on fuel over here. If we're going to do any more real missions around Duna, we're going to have to make sure that we send another refueling tanker. It is still my intention to do more landings on Duna, get the science, bring it up here. But the fact of the matter is, we're actually getting very close to being capped on how much science we need. In fact, we're going to start needing more money soon, because the next thing we have to do is upgrade the science center so that we can actually spend our science on the next level, the next tier science, which I think is going to cost maybe like 500 per. Like, it's quite a bit. So we still need a fair amount of science points, but money is going to start to be a bit of a thing, which is why the Kerbal space program is going to go into some tourism. Get that, and I got that, and I just want to click on the last one. Could you maybe get out of my way? Right there. Good. And then I'm going to click this far one again and say out and out. Out. And that will actually mostly drain it. Interestingly enough, it's going to run out of oxidizer first. Now, this little return thing shouldn't need any RCS. I'm tempted to transfer the RCS from here into one of these tanks. Is this an RCS tank? Or a reaction control? I think it's an RCS. No, that's an RCS there. We might not have an RCS tank sitting... Oh, here's some little ones. Okay. Because just transfer them over for later. Okay, so all my tanks here are full. And there's an RCS tank here, but this is probably going to get trashed in the atmosphere. It crash landed on Duna very soon because it's basically done its job. So, okay, let's grab that. Can I not? And then that. Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't... Oh, yeah, and these little guys. Alright, let's transfer out with the monopropellant. Although, not all of it. There we go. It's so little, it hardly matters one way or another. But I just want enough monopropellant to send myself away from the space station. Alright, so we have JEBEDIAH still in here. He's got 24 science experiments. At some point we're going to want to reorganize our little stages here. Just as a safety precaution, I'm going to move the decoupling to over there. Oh my god, I have to reset my parachutes. That was so close. Bill! Get over here. I do have another engineer, but if Bill made the whole trip here, he'd better make himself useful. Could you imagine if I went all the way back to Kerbal and I forgot to reset my parachutes? Oh, Jeebus. Alright, Bill, let's go. Bill, you're very lucky I didn't leave you in orbit around Kerbal for your hitchhiking, so you gotta earn your meal here, buddy. Not that we have meals, because we don't have the life support systems. But we could. So if we do send another mission to Nuna, I think it'll be bigger, and I think it might come with a rover. It would be interesting to do that. I've been playing around with the rovers a little bit to try to get a sense of things. Okay, and down, and forward. So mostly we just need these 2 packs. It'd be nice if we got the drogues just to say. There we are. Good job. You know, pilots in this version of Kerbal really don't serve much of a purpose, since you can just put probe cores on everything. I mean, yeah, it's even less of a purpose if I'm using MechJab, but even if I wasn't, the probe core gives you all the piloting you need. No, not that. So it is really a shame. Like, really, you just want to use scientists for everything, and engineers for a couple of things here and there. Repack that. But I still feel like pilots should get the honor of most of the first landings, just because it feels better. Okay, that's good. Let's get you back in the science bay. Actually, in the hitchhiker module. Boom, 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 boom. And up, and forward, and up, and forward, and up. There you go. There you go. I do like the fact that the science bay has a crew hatch on both sides. Grab, and board. Whereas the hitchhiker module doesn't. Like, you can enter the science bay from either side. Very convenient. Okay. I think that's that. What I'm going to do is I've got more than enough fuel. I've got actually too much fuel. I could really leave some behind, but I'm going to play it safe. Leave with maximum fuel. Make sure I can get home to Kerbal very comfortably. Bring back this science and do that. I don't think it's worth talking about this trip. In fact, I think we're not even going to complete the trip by the next video. I think what I'm going to do is just put JEBEDIAH on path to go home. Actually, we might have to wait for a transfer window. That's an interesting question, because we might be in a really unoptimal place. If we add a new alarm for a transfer window from Duna to Kerbal, you can see we're a year and 100 days away from our optimal re-entry or return. And the reason for that is Duna must be, because we want Duna to be just slightly ahead of Kerbal, and it's actually just slightly behind. So it's the same thing. The same transfer window that's ideal for launching from Kerbal to Duna is the same for coming back. So we want, if Kerbal is at 3 o'clock, we want Duna to be right around here. Now, of course, I can't just wait for that, because at that point, Kerbal is moving ahead. So, in fact, what we're having to wait, because Kerbal's in a lower orbit, we have to wait until Kerbal makes all the way around sort of relative here, while Duna's also moving, which is why it's a full, past a year ahead. So that's before we can even return JEBEDIAH home. So, yeah, I think what we're going to do, and now obviously I can just time skip ahead. And I will do for some of that. In fact, what I might do is time skip ahead until I can launch JEBEDIAH back home, and then when he's officially in his journey, we'll go ahead and run some tourism or something like that. We shouldn't need any extra science, and of course we have transmitted some. And actually, a year from now we'll be able to transmit like 500 units from the science station. In fact, every basically year we skip forward, we'll be sending about 500 science home for the next 5 years or so. Which ain't bad, but again, let's actually switch right now. Let me switch back to here. quick save in case we crash. Switch to the Space Center. You'll see what I mean about needing some money. Right, Science Center. So we have 800 science right now, which is pretty good, right? So we can, actually, we still have quite a few things to unlock. These are 300 each, so we can use quite a bit of science. But then everything over here, A, cost 550, and B, we can't unlock until we upgrade our science center, which is going to cost 1.7 million bucks, which we basically have. But what we want to start doing is the kickoff space tourism. So this is a contract pack mod that was added in. So there's always tourism in Kerbal, but this mod here adds quite a bit more of it, and levels up to like huge things. So my idea is exactly this. Like, the Kerbal space program is feeling cash strapped, so it's having to sell out and start to do space tourism thing to raise some extra funds, to keep its missions to Duna and whatnot active. We do have missions to go back to the moon, which would be nice. I would love to explore Eve and Ike, explore Gilly. Like, these don't expire. Return to Kerbin from orbit of Duna. Really? Oh, well, shit. Accept their contract. Nice. Some rescues. And yeah, that's another one of these mods that I put in, that these explore some anomalies things. So these are both on Kerbin. And so we're going to have to make a vessel that can maybe scout these out. We get some extra money and stuff. Plus, it's quite cool. I know the island airfield isn't particularly small. Expires in 43 minutes. Wow. Considering all the fast forwarding I've been doing. Tell you what, let's grab both of these, and maybe what we'll do is we'll see if we can build a little ship, a little plane or something like that that's really good at just doing a little bit of hopping around and sightseeing. We'll see how it goes. But mostly, I may or may not televise this. We'll see. Maybe. Maybe not the pyramids. I think the island airfield is very close, though, so maybe we'll do a little hop. But mostly, we're going to start doing space tourism, which should be awesome. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.